you know, I genuinely mean this. You know, when I was the leader, I didn't appreciate people commentating on me, and I never thought it did much good. And I've been very, very sparing about commentating on Jeremy Corbyn.
Let's talk about something you did as leader then, which was change the leadership rules.
Sure.
And there are some people, and of course Jeremy Corbyn fans are very excited about the leadership change, and they think that's great for Labour. Labour is now more a party of the left, they say. But there are others who say it's that rule change that you were instrumental in bringing in that's put Labour where it is.
I think it's a mistake to think about it like that, because Jeremy Corbyn won in every section of the membership. The idea of the idea of the and he had to pass a threshold for that. But the idea of the membership electing the party, the membership and support selecting the party, was something that was widely endorsed across the Labour Party. And I think it misses something here, which is, why has Jeremy Corbyn won 2 leadership elections? Because of a sense among party members, but not just among party members, that they felt there needed to be a more radical programme, by the way, a more radical programme even than I was offering. And in a way, I've got the humility to sort of accept that. I don't think it was just a sort of accident. Yeah. I think it went deeper than that. And you know, I think that from all wings of the party, you have to learn the lessons of that.
You said last summer that Jeremy Corbyn's position was untenable, and yet here he is.
Well, I supported Owen Smith against him in the second leadership election, and Jeremy won. And you've got to accept the result, a bit like what I say about Brexit. You know, I accept the result, and as I say, I think the role, particularly of ex-leaders, but across the party, is this is a collective effort, and you've got to focus on the collective effort.
And thinking of humility, do you think it's possible that Jeremy Corbyn supporters are right, and that Labour hasn't really tried a proper left-wing agenda for many years? It hasn't won an election on your sort of platform since 2005. Instead of people carping at Jeremy Corbyn, should they get fully behind him?
Well, I think that's what, by and large, people have done since he won his second mandate. And I think people recognise that it's important for him to be able to lead. And as I've said, I do think that he, in his leadership campaign, spoke to a sort of yearning that people had, not for sort of utopia, but for radicalism. Now, I don't quite agree with your characterisation of my programme, because I think I offered some of that radicalism, some of which we're seeing adopted not just by the Labour Party, but even sometimes by the Conservative Party. But I think there are always lessons to learn, and I think there are lessons to learn from his election, definitely.